How about we tell each other ghost stories? Library ghost. Da da da. There used to be an elevator that would get you to the second floor. That elevator kind of opened on its own. At first I thought maybe it was someone from security, so I didn't bother. I kept doing what I was doing, reading a book. Hey, are you awake? Yeah, I thought so. I'm awake as well. I can't fall asleep. Well, since I know you're awake, let me turn on the light, okay? This lantern is very handy. It's powered by batteries, so in case of electrical outages, I can still have some source of light. So, what do you think we should do now, since we're both awake? How about we tell each other ghost stories? Ghost stories. Ghost stories. It is almost Halloween. I think it makes a lot of sense for us to tell each other ghost stories, right? You don't have one? Well, I think I have one actually. This is a real life ghost story. And this is the story that I would coin it as the library ghost. Da da da. Did it have the punch? I thought it would look very cool if I did that. Well, I can tell you that story though. It is based on real life, yes. Let me start. So, back in the day, I used to work at a library. I used to be the circulation assistant. Circulation assistant. Circulation assistant at the library. If you don't know what a circulation assistant is, basically my job used to be to sit at the very front desk of the library. Anybody that came in, I would answer their questions and help them with any concerns that they had. Everything was great in the library. We used to have a lot of students coming in, and they would do their stuff. We would help them, and then they would be on their way. Unfortunately, in 2019, COVID-19 hit. Because of COVID, everything shut down. So the library that was once a hustling and bustling place with many students was shut down. To give you a little bit of context, there were 2 floors in the library. I used to sit in the first floor. The second floor had a lot of computers, and it also had computers where we would use to go and print stuff for students. When the library closed down, I was told that I have to show up at the library every day because students would still make requests to the library, and I would have to fulfill those requests. I would go to the library every day, every single day. And it used to be just me, one person, in that huge library. No one else, not even the maintenance guy. There used to be two security people on campus, but they used to be very far away. So, in that once highly populated library, it used to be just me. It had a very eerie silence to it every time I went in there. Every sound would sound a lot harsher. Sounds like tap, tap, and things like clink, clink, clang, and the sounds of tappings. You could hear all of those sounds. Well, I always chopped it down to just the fact that it was the sound of wood, metal. Sometimes it could just be just random sounds coming in. Well, over the course of my time there, I started encountering some really, really weird incidents. The first one was one day I was working in the library, sitting in circulation. To my right, there used to be an elevator that would get you to the second floor. That elevator kind of opened on its own. At first, I thought maybe it was someone from security, so I didn't bother. I kept doing what I was doing, reading a book. But then the door closed. No one came out. I said, okay, that's a little bit concerning. Then 5 minutes later, the door opens again. This time I'm alerted. I'm like, something's not right here. So, and forgive me for doing this. I'm very sorry. I did what you should never do. I walked up to the elevator, and lo and behold, there was nobody in there. I kept looking into the elevator while the door closed on me. As soon as it closed, it went up to the second floor. Then it went back down. It went back up. It went back down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. I thought it was a malfunction, so I go and call the maintenance team. Hey, there's some issue with the elevator. Please take a look. While I'm thinking about that, I felt the need to go to the toilet. I know you're making the connection over those two things. Me getting spooked out and my need to go to the toilet, but they weren't related to one another. I just had to go to the bathroom. I go into the restroom and all the faucets are just throwing water. All of them have motion sensing faucets. So if someone has their hand right next to the faucet, it's gonna start chugging out water. All of them were activated and water was coming out of all the faucets. So I was like, okay, highly disturbing. What should I do? I'm like, no idea. So I leave the bathroom. I go to a bathroom in another building that's not in the library because I'm very scared. I come back, I check my email, and there's a request that has come in from a patron that says, can you go and get some printing work done for me? Usually printing works are done in the second floor, so I'm already scared. I call the maintenance guy again. I tell them the water faucets are all on and the water's just coming out of the faucets. They're like, okay, we'll take a look at it. Thank you for letting us know. It's kind of weird they didn't come in immediately, but I guess that's how their procedures work. So I take the request of the patron that came in earlier. I go up to the second floor. I sit down. As I'm fulfilling their request, I feel a black shadow just run behind me. So out of my instincts, I turn around. Like this, right? Nothing. There's literally nothing there. So I'm like, maybe I'm very scared and my mind is playing tricks on me, right? I turn back forward. I look at the computer and all of a sudden, boom, the lights above me in like a 4 feet by 4 feet square, like 4 by 4 feet square. The lights right above me just turn off. The lights turn off. The lights completely turn off. I get very scared because I look up, the lights only above me turn off, and all the other lights in the library are on. It's like someone gave me the center stage. So I start panicking. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I look outside the window. I notice that it's raining really, really hard, and there's like very heavy winds that's blowing all the water into the windows. And the windows are just drenched with water, like a real thunderstorm is going on. So at that moment, out of fear, maybe out of desperation, maybe out of hope, I tell myself that the lights turned off only above me, of course. They turned off because of some sort of an electrical circuit issues. So the circuit that controls the lights right above me, maybe they malfunctioned. And that's how this happened, because it's very rainy, it's very windy. Maybe that's the reason. Electrical malfunction. Electrical malfunction. So I give myself some hope. I go back down. The rest of the day goes by normally, and the day ends. I come home, I tell this story to my friends and family. They're telling me, maybe you're a little bit paranoid, right? So I'm like, maybe I'm being paranoid. So I go to the library the very next day. And the first thing when I come back into the library is the maintenance person calls me. They tell me, hey, we checked the water faucets. They were all working fine. There was no issue with the faucets. So I don't know what you were talking about. I said, I swear I could have seen the faucets all on when I came in there. I stood in there for a minute and a half. They were just going. I checked later before I left. They were going. Then I tell them, what about the elevator? And they're like, there's no issue with the elevator. Elevator's working fine. There's no electrical issues going on. We tested the elevator multiple times and for consistency, and there's no issues. So I'm like, something's very off here, but maybe it was just a big electrical malfunction that day, and I'm chalking it down to something spooky. Well, anyways, the day goes as normal, and what happens is, towards the middle of my shift, the elevator starts acting up again. The same thing. It would open the door, go up, go down, open, up, down, over and over and over again. So at this point I'm just like, god dang it, like what's going on? I don't call the maintenance this time because I'm like, they'll just tell me that you're lying at this point. So I ignore it. It goes away like 20-30 minutes later. Right after that, I get another request from a patron about doing some prints on the second floor. So I go up to the second floor. I take my spot, I do the prints, and after I do my prints, I have to go get a book as well, because I have to get a book and then ship them to the patron. So as I'm looking for the books, all of a sudden, the lights turn off again. I'm like, okay, lights turn off. It's an electrical malfunction. I'm 100% sure of it. Don't be scared. I look up. Again, the lights are only off right above me. So the lights are off in like a 4 feet by 4 feet square shape right above me. But then all the other lights are on. So I'm like, okay, this time I'm not even standing on the same spot that I was standing on before. I look out the window, right? I'm like, rain, please be my saving grace. I look out. It's the most beautiful sunny day outside. There's no wind blowing, but the light right above me is off and all the other lights are on. I lost my marbles. I swear I literally ran out of the library and I sat outside. I'm outside the library. I'm sitting there. 30 minutes. I'm just freaked out. My hands are all cold. I'm asking myself, what the heck just happened? And I contemplate over everything. And I tell myself, if I don't go back into this library right now, I'm not going to be able to get all my job done before I leave. And I don't want to stay in this library after the sun is down. I want to get the heck out of here before the sun sets. At that moment, call it whatever. Call it my indomitable spirit. Call it stupidity. Call it whatever. But I go back into the library and I say in a really loud sentence, I say, look, I am not leaving this library. Whoever, whatever you are, I'm not leaving this library. I need to earn money. I really need the cash. I swear to God, I am not leaving this place. You can do whatever you want. But I need the money. I'm not going to leave this job. To this day, when I think back on it, it's the funniest thing to me that I actually said that out loud to like a ghost or something, if there was one. I'm like, I'm not leaving this place. I need the money real bad. So if I leave this place, I'll be in trouble anyways. So I'm not leaving. If you want to do anything, just do it to me right now, because I'm in trouble either way. So after that, it seems like the ghost was a really understanding guy or girl, who knows. I never got another instance of a weird situation ever again in that library. I went on to work there for 7 more months, and after that I changed jobs. But throughout those next 7 months in COVID, nothing happened. But yeah, that was the scariest thing I ever had to go through. That was the first time I had an encounter where I was forced to think that, like, is this paranormal or is it just electrical? And personally, having experienced that, I can't find like an explanation for the chain of events that occurred. You might have your own opinion on it, but that's what I think. I couldn't find an explanation over what happened that night, that day. I see that you're dozing off a little bit. Yeah, did I tell anyone about it? Well, I'm telling you guys. And I told my mom as well. So, you guys and my mom are the only people that know. But I see your eyes are getting a little bit droopy. Make sure you're not too scared. I will let you sleep now.